Here we are. Another series, and this is the opening series for both Capoch, the Argentinian, and then Miguel, the Brazilian. Nice to see the little Argentina versus Brazil showdown. Was kind of hoping to see that one during the World Cup, but we've got it here. Portuguese for Capoch in the blue, Dave. Capoch is really good in tournaments. Like, he seems to elevate his level in tournaments, and he's up against Miguel, who I think has always been a player who's shown promise and talent. He stayed alive in the first season of Titans League, so he clearly showed that he's in that top 24, but I feel like he's always got that other level that he could bring to the table.
Yeah, Miguel is just always hanging around. But the thing about Miguel is he never really manages to snag those upsets.
Yeah.
He wins against the people he should win against. He doesn't win against the people he shouldn't win against.
Yeah.
And that won't get you into consistent top 16 or even top 8 of events. You're going to need to have some upsets sometime, and Miguel just can't seem to pull it off. He's a very solid player, though. Capoch, one of those guys who just tends to show up in the huge moments.
Yeah.
He's always around, right? And like, even when you think he's not on top form or he looks a little bit sloppy maybe in a game, he'll hang in there and he'll pull it back. One of the best comeback players, I think, of our game.
I think for Miguel, and I won't get too deep into this, but like, I know last year, he talking to me a lot, playing the game a ton, with that came a lot of pressure on himself, because a lot of players in our scene, and this is why Titans League is important, guys, a lot of players in our scene are older. They're like late 20s, early 30s. And so, you've got to figure out what you're going to do with your life, right? And so, like, you put pressure on yourself to really get those deep runs so you can cash in and get bigger prize pools to continue to do this. And so, I saw a lot from Miguel last year, and I felt like a lot of it was associated with a lot of pressure, and he'd play the game a ton, and I felt like maybe there was some burnout associated with it. So he's the one player that, I haven't seen a lot of that I actually think could be good for him. I think that Miguel coming in here and not just like, grinding nonstop in the lead up to this, I think that's going to have him fresh for Age of Empires. And he's been pushing in all that hunt there with the Mongols. You got to love to see that. And that's been a civ that I don't want to say they're undefeated on this map, but they're pretty close. I don't remember a loss from them so far.
Really, really good on this map. Of course, you have the elephant, which has 400 food on it. And then you have, 7 deer or something like that? 6 deer at the front there. So a lot of hunt to take in, as well as all the extra deer around. Miguel actually hasn't taken any of his water buffalo. So he pushed in the deer immediately while he was building the houses.
Mm-hmm.
And that means his food eco has been super efficient, actually. If we go to the resources collected and we look at it, Miguel is more than 100 food collected ahead of Capoch.
And wood, too.
The Mongols right there in a nutshell, yep.
And wood, so he has the, fishing ships coming out faster. But yeah, that's what the Mongols will want to take advantage of. And, Capoch picked the Portuguese here, and this is not the first time I've seen someone pick Portuguese on a map where I wouldn't have seen it maybe 6 months ago. My opinion on this still stays the same. I'm still not the biggest fan of picking them if you're not taking advantage of the early wood from berries thing. But I guess at the same time, Portuguese have always been seen as a pretty decent hybrid civ. And that's what shoals should be considered here.
Mm-hmm. You would still want the dock out, so you don't go for the cute little mill first, as the scout from Miguel comes right into the TC. Oh boy.
That hurts.
Oh boy.
That's something you just never want to do here. I think he was dropping off food to click up to feudal, but that starting scout would have given him so much more value had he not done that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a scouting bonus with the Mongols, right? So like hopefully doesn't kick himself too much, because he absolutely should have known better there. Oh, this is Group C, by the way. Oh, shoot. I had to change it. Pause for me.
This is why... Okay.
Just pause somewhere. And tell me the time.
7:23.
Okay. It's frustrating. With live games, if you pause to fix something, you could just go at the same speed, but with Rex.
This is why you just don't put that information in there at all. Less to mess up.
True. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. We continue.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should just go that route. Less effort is the best way of going about things, I guess.
Exactly. That's my mantra. All right, so Capoch, well, he still doesn't have the mill, no surprise, because he wants to contest water a little bit. Miguel is over a minute in front of him, though. And, well, Miguel's eco is looking pretty solid behind this. Still has plenty of water buffalo to take. He still hasn't made the mining camp, though. He's only collecting with 2 villagers.
Yeah.
And they're going to go all the way back to the gold. Is that a slip up or is that intentional? Okay, it's not intentional. It's a slip up.
Yeah.
He goes to the, nope. Cancels the mining camp?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's going to place it still, I believe.
He wanted the ships first, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go for the mining camp once his villagers have collected a little bit more.
I mean, I think you could consider this shaky, though, right? Like, the scout into the TC, still no mining camp. Super weird. He is opening with 2 galleys, though, and he's going to aim to kill the fish. You know, it is possible at this point, Dave, that he just wants to go 2 galleys, and that's it. And no, never mind. Mining camp. Okay. Hey, we're doing a great job at trying to guess what's happening here for Miguel. So kudos to us. Well, there go those galleys, and we're going to have galleys as well for Capoch. Remember, you have the sea tower. For Capoch, he pretty much only has 1 deep fish underneath that sea tower remaining. For Miguel, he's got, well, actually, less food overall, even though it shows 2 fish. But it's hard to dodge that thing.
9 extra damage for this tower against ships. And you can see it right there with the extra arrows.
Yeah.
If you attack the ship in front, the extra arrows are going to hit the one behind. And Miguel is trying to find an angle which he can target these fish. Can't really, though. And Capoch goes for the 3rd dock already.
Yeah, this is a Capoch thing. Like, when I think of Capoch, I don't think of a player that has a lot of balance to him. He's really good at commit plays. So he'll just commit to one strategy and outperform you on that. So he's worse off in some hybrid situations, you would think, because he doesn't switch.
Miguel has 2 villagers on the right side.
He does, and he's going to be able to avoid Capoch's scout, which is also weak, by the way.
Is this a forward? It's not a, surely not a forward dock, because that doesn't really give you anything here with that tower still around that area.
It's a forward
barracks.
So it's
a forward barracks and then a forward range. It's getting fletching right now. Okay.
Well, so normally what I say to forward barracks is you want to make the barracks at home. That way when your villagers make it to the enemy base, they can make the archery range. But Capoch's scout was all up in Miguel's business a second ago. So I think for Miguel, he didn't want to place the barracks at home because it would have showed that to Capoch.
Capoch coming over with the scout. He's just going to scout the gold, which is smart. Doesn't suspect that Miguel might have villagers forward. And Miguel's push here is going to be really stalled out in the fact that he needs to build that barracks first. And then he starts working on the archer range. And by the time he gets archers out, gonna take a little bit of time.
Scout just passing by the galleys there. Capoch just probably setting waypoints to scout the map, and that was a risky move. You do not want to lose your scout here. It can be really helpful later on. And there's that range, Dave. And this is going to be really close to Capoch's walls. Like, if Capoch gets housed and then instinctively researches Town Watch here, that would actually help him.
Okay, Capoch coming in against those fish. Needs to be careful about the tower, but he snipes the fishing ship, and he's going to leave. He does have 8 galleys with 3 in the queue. Miguel only with 6. So Miguel's going to have to play defensive and just try and distract Capoch on the water while he's building up these archers behind. Good micro so far for Miguel with the galleys, not losing any of them and taking a significant amount of HP off of Capoch, but he can't really extend.
Oh, man, but the panic for Capoch is going to be real, isn't it? Like, you got a spearman and an archer that should stop the wall off, and then you have to make a barracks and a range and potentially a tower at home. Could really get messy.
This army right here doesn't tell him that there's a forward. This army just says maybe Miguel sent that across earlier.
Yeah.
Because it's only a single spearman and a single archer. This might tell him there's a forward. Now he sees it.
Yeah, Miguel was trying to figure out if he could keep this open here. A good reactive play here from Capoch as he places those house walls. So now the archers are going to have to go around the front. There is another hole that Miguel could look for, and they still have to worry about the galley micro. So difficult to do.
Miguel sees that hole.
Oh, man, does Capoch see it?
Capoch doesn't realize. Oh, he thinks it's connected. It's not connected. The archers are going to go through. There's going to be a scout there. The archers have fletching. Capoch Still hasn't killed the fish from Miguel, but they haven't been working this whole time. And now the archers are on the gold, and these villagers are super trapped back here.
Wow, what a great job from Miguel, though, to take the early initiative with the Mongols and then switch that into the initiative on land. So many players don't try and do that. And then this if like Portuguese could look so much better. Miguel also sees the villager there trying to make the house, but I don't think he's going to be too bothered by this. If he could kill all the villagers here on this gold, Miguel will be very happy with how this has gone.
I think even just like 2 more bills here is just perfect. And look at this. Capoch is still running around this gold trying to kill these 2 archers that are in the back. The scout still has enough HP.
That's sick.
To be valuable. And this is an amazing, amazing play here from Miguel as he kills his, 4th villager of the game?
Yeah. Now, you know what's funny? Look at Miguel's wood count right now.
Well, he's kind of distracted.
He's distracted,
bit, right?
exactly. So his macro isn't as good as he would want it to be, but he's trying to micro in this tiny little spot, and he refuses to quit, man. If he could get one more. Oh, he's going to get one more from that, too. Oh, man. Capoch is trying to micro it away.
He might not. He might not. Does he
Okay.
survive? Yes, he survives, but Capoch down on villagers now. Miguel gets a chance to balance out his eco a little bit, and he still has his galleys alive. He will lose the fish,
Yeah.
but he still has some presence on the water, which means that Capoch can't just boom up with fishing ships here, and Capoch uses the market a little bit to get himself to Castle Age. Market from Miguel going down right now. He can click up soon. Question is, does he want to sell his stone to help him out a little bit? Feels like you can sell 400, 500, 600
He might do it
wood.
now. Yeah, he's like, I'll sell my stone. Let's do it.
And he's up.
Also, Miguel is mining the gold that belongs to Capoch. There's only so much gold. And Capoch is obviously not going to spend as much on gold with the Portuguese, but he's going to add a stable there. I like that move from Capoch. With a faster Castle Age, a knight could clear up a lot here. And I think Miguel got the value he wanted from the archers, but he just wasn't able to also macro behind it. It's really complicated in those situations. So he is, at least in some ways, a little bit behind with the timings.
Harris just chatting. He's like, soul equals sold. Literally.
Yeah, true.
He sold his soul to get
Sold-
to Castle
sold the
Age.
soul.
No stone there. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Both players did. I understand it from Capoch's point of view, right? Because like you're thinking your opponent's going to be faster to Castle Age. And Miguel, let's see if he sees the stable. He probably won't venture out too far there. Miguel's actually repairing his ships. I'm curious on how Miguel's going to be able to balance things here. He doesn't have a stable. He only has 6 archers. It feels like 2 knights from Capoch with armor. And that whole forward goes down there for Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel should be adding some walls at home. It's just a few.
Capoch did such a good job continuing to produce Navy throughout everything. He still has more Navy than Miguel. And Miguel's going to be like, are you kidding me? How is he later to Castle Age? I can relate to Miguel's situation so hard here. Like, do a nice little transition attack and then still get beat to Castle Age and then still be struggling to figure out what your next move is.
12 villagers making their way out to that gold. Here come the war galleys right here. That sea tower is going to help a little bit. It snipes a ship. It's probably going to snipe a second ship here. But still, the galleys are dying here from Miguel as he tries to micro his way around. And Capoch is just committing to this fight. And Capoch is going to lose a lot of HP. But still, Miguel is going to be forced to go forward and try and snipe these fishing ships from Capoch because he knows he probably can't win this engagement unless Capoch continues to sit under that tower.
Yeah, I mean, if it's fire ships, I'm okay with it. But don't sit underneath it with your galleys here, Capoch. He's obviously distracted elsewhere, Dave, as there's knights. This is the most random assortment of buildings you've ever seen from Miguel.
He's kind of lamed that gold as well, I guess.
For himself, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's only 2 vills there. Now remember, all the push from Miguel is happening on the right-hand side. He has no vision on the left. He does not know Capoch is over there. And Capoch is going to go siege monk defense against this push. At the present moment, I feel like Capoch's position is still stronger. He's still got fishing ships, and he has 2 TCs.
He can't see that gold from Miguel at home either. Sees the other gold. He doesn't see the one he's gone out to on the right side. And the knight
true.
leaves. Oh, that would have been so brutal.
Oh, but this is such a good move from Capoch. He's like, okay, you're going to forward me? Good. You probably have nothing at home. I'll send 1 knight to your base, and it's going to be absolute panic times. And
I wonder if Capoch noticed. I don't think he noticed the villagers from Miguel going to the left either.
Yeah,
Miguel
but
buys stone, so he's gonna go TC that area.
it will be interesting, right? Because it's very possible that Miguel gets the TC up and Capoch doesn't even know it's there the whole time.
Quick walls from Miguel, but okay, now he's safe. Maybe.
Not
Still a hole,
everything.
and the knight just moves over to the farms. Damn.
Big shot needed here for Capoch and big conversions at home. Let's see if he can do it. He's going to get a shot on the Mangonel there, and Miguel dives in for the Mangonel, and Capoch is going to convert
two
full.
knights. Miggy.
Miguel. Oh.
That's terrible. That's awful.
Also, Knight kills a
And the Knight is
villager
still
underneath
killing.
his TC as well. And for Miguel, you can see exactly what he was aiming for here, but things are starting to fall apart. And
The
this
wood line is open. He didn't finish the palisade wall.
Yikes. He had to bring a camel all the way home for this. 3 TCs for Capoch soon. Capoch and Miguel both lacking eco upgrades, but more so Capoch, actually. Doesn't have horse collar for any of his farms yet.
Is Miggy gonna douche that TC from Capoch? Kind of feels like it at this stage.
Oh, he deleted his TC. No, he doesn't have the stone. He started building it, and now he deleted it for some reason, and now he doesn't have the stone. Miguel, what in the world?
He's falling apart.
It is falling apart.
Oh, no, he's going to accidentally douche him. No, bro. Miguel.
Well, it would be funny if Capoch doesn't realize this, but you have to imagine he will eventually.
Capoch?
Do.
Miguel still can't see the TC. Capoch? Capoch?
Hey!
Imagine he waits until it's almost complete, so he wastes all the resources. Oh, he can't range.
Can he really not hit those vills with Bodkin Arrow? Man, TCs can't hit
he-
anything.
Well, I mean, it doesn't give you any extra range.
I know, but it's just funny. Like, if I think Bodkin, I always think range even in these instances. Okay, well, that's, I guess, good for Miguel that he gets the TC up. He's like, yeah, it's a good time to mine stone. We need a castle. But Dave, like, the original push from Miguel is stalled. His TC now is just like the prime target for any push from Capoch. And Miguel falling apart here. He does have 2 TCs at home, but I'm just not seeing any control for him on this map at the moment. He hasn't taken out any fish. He's just got so many different things he's got to deal with. But man, like, he should have, like, deleting, regardless if you know Capoch has a TC there or not, deleting a TC and losing that time is
after you
really
after
bad.
you bought 100 stone, deleting the foundation is just bad
Yeah.
in general if you're not on stone already. But he is on stone now with 16 villagers, so he's definitely thinking about a castle. It's gonna be tough though because his TC over here, by the time he has enough stone, is probably gonna be dead. Which means where is the protection for your castle against the Mangonel?
Yep. Capoch brings...
This is another Mangonel forward. Oh man.
Capoch has a level of consistency anytime he plays. And if this is the how this series is going to play out, I'm a little worried for Miguel. Now, it is the first game, right? So, you know, there's going to be more stress associated with it. But Miguel's struggling. I think he's going to try and drop a castle here to protect this area. He's selling his soul the second time.
Oh god. And there's monks and knights there, and at some point Capoch is just gonna dive in here for the repair villagers. He'll see the castle and he'll just be like, oh, that is what's happening.
It will be interesting if that castle goes up. It doesn't really give Miguel a lot of access to gold. Uh-oh. 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 They can't repair. I mean, they can repair, but they'll die.
Here come the Mangonels.
No,
how is the
Miguel.
pathing? How is the pathing gonna look on these Mangonels? Where are the monks? The monks are still waiting back there. Capoch being a little bit too safe here, maybe, but he's going to get there with the Mangonels, and he's going to start working away on the villagers.
You're right.
85,
It's the pathing.
86, the pathing, and now Capoch realizes, I can't get there in time.
Okay. Well,
But
Capoch
he goes for his zone.
he's just going to, drop one on the other side now. And really good move from him to realize not to commit everything towards that. Holy monks and Mangonels, by the way. Is this arena? Like 5 Mangonels, 6 monks, nothing else right now for Capoch.
Miguel is in with archers again. But now Miguel is no longer in with archers.
He's going to kill
There's
2
a
monks.
Mangonel coming out. Maybe.
Okay.
Hog gets one.
Look at that. Look at that idle TC time from both. Man, this has been messy. It's not a map where you'd expect that number to be 0. But this has been extremely messy, extremely sloppy. But at the end of the day, Capoch has, let's say, 95% control of one of the gold regions on this map.
Just think about that. With Mongols, how do you come back from this position?
Mega
You
dive.
can't really. You can't really range. Yeah, but like, will you be able to keep your castles alive long enough? You can't really go in and do any damage to Capoch's home eco because he's got siege there. He's walled now, so your forward has no value whatsoever.
Miguel,
he goes for another castle.
Miguel, you're in trouble at home here, buddy.
Oh man!
I thought he would have expected that the army from Capoch was coming to his base. He might cancel that castle. It's worth it to cancel that other castle now and drop one at home.
No.
Or bring in a demo or two.
He sees the castle now from Capoch. This is a problem. And Capoch's eco looking very strong behind this. He's got 26 on gold. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank. He can even buy food to get up faster and take out that castle. Magadai will be coming forward, but like you said before, there's a lot of monks here and an organ gun. And Capoch is now thinking about Imperial Age. And Miguel, well, Miguel has to hope for the best micro he's ever had in his entire life.
Well, it's not a bad start. It's a lot of monks and an organ gun.
Dead. Monks are dead.
Villagers are dead.
His own villager.
What?
Pressure.
He'll have 2 castles with Mongols,
there.
Dave. He'll have 2 castles with Mongols. If he clears this up, Miguel's in a good spot. What's happening?
Great clear up from Miggy. What did he lose? A Mangadai? He lost a Mangadai. That's it.
Wow.
Crazy fight there from Miguel. Capoch probably should have been on point with the conversions a little bit more. Miguel adds another TC to the right side. Capoch is on the way to Imperial Age. And he's forced to go into Skirmisher now.
Is Miguel going to drop a 3rd castle in the same spot? I think he should go deep into Capoch's eco and drop this one. I mean, this is crazy.
Right near the farms on that TC there, maybe.
Because the problem, though, is that if you make more castles in this area, Capoch is still going to be able to make trebs and treb you down. But there is a timing here, and there go the Mangadai. Capoch has not had a lot else other than the monks in the siege, and Miguel making him pay, keeping himself in this somehow. And there he goes. Yeah, that's the castle I was thinking of originally. Just pressure, pressure, pressure here. Wow, dude. This might turn into a game where Miguel could win an all-in castle age if he goes for tons of Lycav and Knights. Because he's got food.
It's a great engagement against the Mangonels and the monks. Sniping down the monks first and then taking care of the Mangonels while keeping your Magadai alive. Fantastic. The castle is only being built with 6 villagers, but right now Capoch doesn't have that much to deny it. Losing villagers in his own economy.
Got a war galley there from Capoch. Worth pointing out that is good control area for Capoch over the stone in the wood. And yeah, Capoch is going to have to make trebuchets here, but he's lost a lot of eco and a lot of control over the last couple minutes. Miguel, good resources. Miguel's going to click up to Imp Dave. And again, if he could get that food eco right, I would really like a Hussar play from him. Because at this point, you have to expect you might lose your castles, which is sad. But your opponent switched into skirms.
You are going to lose them, essentially.
Yep. Just don't know if he really has the food eco set up for that. Like, you're going to want more than 25 on food. He is on the right side. What I'd like to see from Miguel is an outpost or two. I guess he has the houses, but how many times have we said that in Titans League so far? When you've got control of one area, just outpost the map to make sure that they're not going to sneak over there.
The only way Capoch is sneaking over there is through the middle. He could walk Vills across the middle.
Yeah.
Because like he's going to have to go past the forward from Miguel to get there from his own base.
So still Archer armor now for Miguel. So not showing me that he's planning on a switch, but he might just want to upgrade the units he already has. He's not producing more Mangadai. Capoch has to be careful, but beyond this TC that's about to be shot down, he's got so many vills, and he knows it. So he's going to drop he's going to drop another TC, but Miguel's going to dive. Miguel's going to dive underneath it, and he could deny that TC. This is an insane play from the Brazilian.
In the other one. Yeah, Miguel just coming in here. No fear whatsoever, and he's going to deny the TC, and that's a lot of dead vills. Look at the villager count right now.
What?
Look at the villager count. Miguel is ahead. Somehow. Capoch probably has his gamer face on right now. And we all know what happens when that thing comes out. But Miguel is just ripping through villagers. Unfortunately for him, he's going to lose both of those castles on the left side. And then those trebs will come back for the castle in his own base. But still, there's another exposed wood line Miguel can take out.
Wow, I mean, this is the unit you want to get to if you're Mongols. I don't know if you can stay on this unit. But look what it can do. Man, Capoch,
oh my God.
Capoch had gone forward with his skirmishers, Dave, instead of pulling them back home. But he maybe just didn't expect that Miguel would be bold enough to run through there. What a crazy game.
Spearman is sitting on the spot where Capoch wants to drop another TC.
Dude, I don't even know where that is. Oh, yeah.
You shall not.
You shall not. 6 HP.
I'm from the Bureau of City Planning.
Yeah,
And,
where's
you
your
don't have
permit?
a permit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please show me your papers before you build this. And Capoch won't notice that either because he's so distracted. But he did clear up the manga die. And so that prompts Miguel now to get light cav and armor. But he didn't really think ahead there. That said, he is dropping the stables at home. And this game is opened up. You've got Miguel with the right side control. You've got Capoch with the left side control. It will be 3 castles down for Miguel as the Spearman finally dies. But he is Mongols, Dave. And his eco's decent. He still could do this.
Still only 5 military, though, as he takes the hunt on the right side. And Capoch has, well, skirms in the back. Miguel will clear those, but there's another skirmisher army that can come forward with Trebs behind.
Funnily enough, Capoch doesn't actually have a lot on gold right now because he was so distracted there on the left. He's going to get back on gold, but like there's another small force that's going to run back into Capoch's woodline. Miguel just keeps taking big risks, and it's paying off here, man. Like, that's going to be an amazing clear-up if Capoch doesn't pay attention. Look how weak those villagers are. What in the world is this game?
Look at that castle from Capoch, but there's a lot of light cav here now from Miguel. That might be a throw. That castle may be a throw.
I mean, I don't think it's a maybe. I think it would be. He's going to run back now. And what he needs is a unit that's a gold unit that can compete against this. So he's going to go for Arbalest most likely as he's clicked the crossbowman upgrade now.
Dude, he killed so many villagers on that woodline, it looks like. Unless those were just bodies from before.
This is so
Maybe
fun.
Just bodies
Dude,
from before.
This game is so messy. It's unbelievable. You've got skirms from Capoch raiding farms from the player who can make light cav. Like, what? Miguel only has 3 on food right now. He needs way more on food, but he needs to clear up his farming eco first.
And here come the Trebs. Capoch now is switching into crossbows, soon to be Arbalest. Miguel with only 1 military unit in the queue, and Capoch is suddenly 20 villagers ahead again.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the TCs, dude. He's got like 2 TCs at home, 1 TC in Miguel's base, 2 TCs on the gold. I guess gold and stone. He's just... I think the thing for Capoch, and I mentioned it earlier, is he's so much more consistent with production. Like Miguel, you see a really good moment, and then it takes a lot of time to get back to whatever else he needs to get to. But with Capoch, he's always producing.
I like the fact that he's made these castles kind of back. They're still kind of controlling the gold.
That's true.
But he's made them back away from the water, so they can't be ranged from there. Trebs will have to go really deep to get to them, and he needs Mangadite production at the moment. He's still raiding at the back of Capoch's base, and more villagers are dying. Treb is also killing the TCs. Skirmishers taking their sweet time to deal with that.
Just look at the idle eco count right now for both of them. There's still a Treb from Miguel. It's about to get taken out by crossbows and skirms, but that thing's been there forever. And now Miguel loses his starting TC. Oh my goodness. But I mean, Miguel losing his starting TC isn't the worst. If you lose the farmers, that's a problem. But if he could bring his Mangadai and Lightcap in, he could take out those Trebs maybe. It's all about when Arbalest comes in for Capoch.
Bro, even the Mangadai at the back just still being super frustrating here. Oh my god.
Gotta love how Miguel's houses and whatnot are giving a lot of vision and control on that other side too. Okay, important moment. Capoch is shot ahead with population. Most important thing is that he's dropping a castle and he's got the Trebs. Miguel needs to stop this. But with what? Just a couple Mangadai and Lightcav?
He's getting Hussar right now.
It's true.
I feel like I would have rather seen extended Lightcap production than saving for Hussar. But he can't win this fight.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, it's at least a 50-50 fight, and if it's a 50-50 fight, Capoch will be fine. Like, Capoch will get Arbalest soon, which he also has been delaying a little bit. And he's got 30 of them. And that's going to allow him to continue to push across the map. And in a crazy, eventful, messy game, unless the Mangadai have something to say about this, I think that Capoch is finally going to get the W.
I mean, Miguel's running his eco. He's still got 89 villagers.
He's still got a Hussar and Mangadai in the back of Capoch's base.
Yep, and he's heading in with those Mangadai again. He's been so annoying with those. He's going to kill another 3 or 4 vills. How does he deal with this big ball of crossbows, though?
Capoch needs to stop queuing vills for a second and click Arbalest. I'm sure he's actually clicked Arbalest like 16 times, but he keeps clicking it when he doesn't have the resources because he's spamming vills. Oh boy, that castle. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I mean, the fact it's not Arbalest gives Miguel a chance.
I mean, Miguel's going to have to sacrifice Mangadite just to get this castle up.
Yeah. And Capoch will know that. And Capoch has Trebs still, so he could just bring in the Trebs afterwards, so he'll just take the Mangadai.
Capoch now going for a castle on the right side. Fully in view of Miguel, but it doesn't matter because he can't stop it. There's nothing over there to stop it.
It's 20 Mangadai for Miguel. It's a decent number, but Capoch is constricting him now, and Capoch has about 70% of the map. He's just... Dude, click Arbalest, Capoch. Come on, bro. Max out your units here. Did I miss something? Do Portuguese not get it? Catching up on a lot of things now. Even getting
those
armor.
Mangadai are still alive. He sent a knight to deal with those, and they're still alive. They have 20 kills, bro.
Dude, I'll say this. Obviously, Miguel's going to lose this game, but he gave himself his best shot after falling behind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me these Mangadai are going to kill these crossbows.
Well, there's a Hussar in front. There was a Hussar in front.
I'm referring
They
to
should be able
the
to,
bigger
they
group
should
of
be able
Mangadai.
to- I know, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
The Hussar just melted so fast you couldn't even see it. And they do clear it up. And they don't
What?
have that many losses, like 5 losses there.
Miguel's going to be in the corner of the map, but as long as he still has Mangadai, he's going to fight. But now, look at the castles from Capoch. Such a good position. Just needs Trebs from that side now. And Capoch is in... He's in a position that he should never lose, even against the Mongols. It just takes so
Classic
long to
position
master
here for
Mangadai.
Mongols, where you have Mangadai and they're fun to use, so you want to stay in the game.
Yeah. And
Even though you know it's over.
it's been a really messy series. It's hard to really have as good a grasp on the game at times, so it takes longer to realize the situation. But, man, in a very messy game, Capoch ends up getting the win. But, you know, I think Miguel had actually had good strategy in this game. He opened up on water, realized Capoch was doing the same on 3 docks, and went for a sneak that got him value. But you remember that point where he had 1,000 wood? Like, he just wasn't able to balance his economy while also killing villagers. And then Capoch with the faster castle age. He counterattacked with the knight. He won water. He got the TC up on the gold. And, you know, from there it looked bad for Miguel, but then there were a couple moves that made it look worse, like deleting the 1 TC and then dropping it next to the opponent's TC. But from an entertainment standpoint, it wasn't the cleanest game ever. From an entertainment standpoint, that was a really good game. I also like how Capoch is sending skirms across the water there. Like, that just looks awesome.
I think it's just, this map is so much better in RM than it was in Empire Wars. It's just so much more variety, it feels like.
Well, I think scouting matters a lot more, right? Like, you just knew in Empire Wars, yeah, they're going to work to the side, but, like, so many little sneaks you can do, as we saw in this game. And I would argue, even though I'm a big fan of Empire Wars, that RM in general is just superior to Empire Wars in terms of the strategy. So it's not just like this map as a whole.
man.
But yeah, that, you know, maybe makes me come off a little bit as an old man. I think everyone can enjoy different things, and both can be great. Both can be great. But how many castles did Capoch end this game with? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 castles.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was that much stone.
He can count.
It took me a while there. Okay, so
That was great, though. That was really entertaining. I love that. And I didn't see a way back from Miguel at the end. There wasn't, but he tried his best to open a window
he did.
for himself.
He did. I mean, remember, there was a point where we thought he was going to resign, and then suddenly he killed 5 mangonels, 6 monks, and a working gun. And then that same group somehow killed like 30 villagers in Capoch's base. But all right, a good start to the series. Game 2 will be on Miguel's home map. All right, so before we start, this brings me back to the 2v2 tournament. What was it called? Return of the Clans? No, that was 3v3. I think Terra Nova Duos.
Yeah.
Regicide Fortress, Capoch, and Nikov versus MBL and I. And Capoch had Chinese or whatever. And no, I had Chinese, and I sniped Capoch as king. Oh, makes me so happy.
Yeah, what happened to you in Silver League, by the way? Did you snipe any
I
kings
got
there,
destroyed. I have such a fear of gunpowder now. It's unbelievable. And I've been on a downward slide ever since. I had like a -7 winning streak yesterday. Or losing streak, sorry. It's been pain. Oh, Kings are saying hi. Bonk.
Hello, Kiss. Nice little belly bounce there. Is that what they call it when you just like, when you like jump into someone else, you're like, ugh, chest bump?
People
But that
call
would be
it
belly bump.
I think it's a chest bump when you're thin, but when you're fat, it's a belly bump.
Belly bump.
That reminds me of do you ever like get those giant inflatable balls growing up and then run towards another person who's also holding a giant inflatable ball
Oh,
and
yeah,
bounce?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
why
can go
I
flying,
am not
dude.
very smart because I
I
probably
got a low center of gravity though. I always win those.
Oh, true.
I always win those, bro.
Maybe that was my problem. Whoa, look at this build for Miguel here. So he's gone up really fast. This is a feudal boom on Regicide Fortress with Burgundians.
Yeah, he's getting Horse Collar already, even though he already has 5 farms. Interesting decision making there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure I'm in love with this, but I'm appreciating the attempt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you would assume that this would be something that Miguel loaded up in a scenario editor and practiced at least.
He beat the easy AI. And he's chasing the scout too. With that feudal uptime, if Capoch tries to hang around with that scout or thinks Miguel's going to leave him alone, he can kind of punish him. Also, Capoch pretty far forward with that king.
Yeah? There's a chance.
Miguel does not see the king. Maybe he goes back.
Yeah, it's unlikely the king will ever get the kill there. Capoch can also just run to his castle.
Miguel's going to see the king with his own. Oh, Miguel, don't take... No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my...
Dude. And, like... I just don't know if the build is impressive, right? Like, we know humans are established. I've seen that before. I'm ready to be surprised.
Why get Horse Collar here when you have 5 farms already? Wait, and you're seeding another farm?
Well, that's a horse color farm, bro. Come on.
No, it's a heavy plow farm, but like,
It feels awful, this build. Like, again, it feels like a build. It feels like a build you try in the scenario editor, and then you say, oh, yeah, that's not that great. Okay, good thought. But, like, you're in Platinum League. You know it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be really important for you to get wins. You got to come in here with a strategy that's good. I think his Castle Age time is going to be abysmal, and I think he realizes it as well because he's dropping a market right now.
It's the market. King is coming home. The king for Capoch is still hanging around because why wouldn't it?
Yep. Dang. Well, you know, maybe Miguel could trap this scout. Let's see. Go for a gate. The scout's back there. Gate it and then gate it the other side. Come on, Miguel. You got this. Nope.
It's a scout, though. It's just a scout. Is this like is this like a fast imp build order? Like what? I don't know. He's got 4 on gold already. I don't know.
If you're an archer civ, I wouldn't mind fast imp. Like, I know you and I joke about the Kip checks a lot with Cumans, but the real strength of the Cuman play is a couple ranged units to control the map, drop another castle, then go trebs. Spending food and gold on the Coustier, I don't think would be all that great here.
Yep.
I mean, Capoch, we should remind people, this wasn't his home map, okay? And Miguel got first pick on civs. And Miguel picked Japanese. That's great. That'll probably be used for game number 3. But, you know, Capoch is able to snag up Chinese. He started with 3 more vills. He's then going to be faster the second TC. And, like, this is just not a good Regicide Fortress build order for Miguel. I don't know what else to say without sounding too terribly mean. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, his eco is going to be Castle Age eco for most of the game, so that's a positive. But I think he's going to struggle to afford a whole lot when he makes it to Castle. And now he doesn't have the scout.
Dark Age wheelbarrow. Yep.
Painful, painful, painful. Not what you would want to see, right? Like we've talked a lot about player motivations. You know, some of the big guys that are playing in every event took some time off, came out a little weak in the first round. But I think, you know, Miguel's not one of the players that has that luxury. Players who were in 4th place should be realizing that this season, it's got to be much better for them because I think the players are only getting better every single year.
Like look at the total resources collected, even after these upgrades. With Chinese, Capoch is still 300 res ahead.
Yeah.
Like, was it worth it to rush? I don't don't know. Your farms are going to last a little bit longer, but it's only, what, you've got 5 farms with heavy plow, basically.
Yeah.
Because you still have the 5 starting ones, which you're going to need to reseed.
I mean, the thing that makes it sad for me is I could list off like 3 or 4 other strats and civilizations that would be better than what Miguel's doing right now.
Let's see what the outcome. Before we start harping up more on Miguel's build, we don't feel like it's maybe the smartest thing to be doing. We don't think maybe it's the most optimal, but maybe he's got a surprise in here for us. If he goes into 2 extra TCs though, ooh, you better be ready, buddy, because
look how far we've come. That Dave chimes in as the voice of reason, trying to
build. I know.
I mean, the real sad thing right now is that he doesn't have a scout. So he knows where 2 relics are, but he also can't stop Capoch from getting relics. But I think, if he makes 1 or 2 Coustier, like they could one-shot monks, so that's good. And then he is going to be in a position to drop the 2nd and 3rd town center. And he's going to leave his walls here, go to the north, and drop a town center on that wood line, which it's not bad, right? You definitely want more wood coverage right now. He's actually just waiting for the stone to drop the TC. He can't drop it yet because that villager needs to drop off the stone. But he'll have that any moment now. There's the monastery for Miguel. There is his unique unit now. He's 8 villagers behind. And he's going to chase down that scout for Capoch. And Capoch will see that guy chasing him. Come on, Miguel. Drop that TC for me.
Come on, big guy.
He has the resources for it now. Does he not realize?
He's trying to chase down the scout from Capoch.
There's
Although,
the TC.
this is why I don't like Castilier to contest, like, relics.
It'll
Because
just
if you get lucky conversions...
Oh, what a play
and then
from
you
Capoch.
have that charge attack. Great stuff from Capoch. But the conversion luck is not there for him. And he doesn't get it.
Miguel
So,
needed...
bit lucky for Miguel. Very lucky, actually.
Yeah, Miguel needed that too. Like, this has not been going well for him. He absolutely needed that. And Capoch did everything right there, I think. But the RNG on the monks, man, you can't really predict it. Also, another one for Miguel on the right side. So, suddenly things are shaping up. He might actually be able to compete for relics. Capoch doesn't have a single one.
Still, he's 13 villagers behind now.
Yeah. It'll be about 15 or 16, I think, because of the TCs being up already for Capoch. Total resources collected. Capoch 1,000 resources ahead. And the other thing that I had mentioned about how we kind of balanced Fortress, I'd said this in the Doubt series, is the castle's almost always forward, which incentivizes map control.
He balanced out his conversion luck. He got that one pretty fast. Miguel is trying to escape with this relic. Capoch sending the Castilier back around that way. Miguel actually might reconvert that again.
Now, let's see if Miguel notices. I mean, if he loses the monk, it hurts. But at the very least, he's probably going to get this relic. And, okay, Capoch figures. Okay, that one's inside already. And your scout gets
charge
bopped.
attack already. Use this charge attack, but there's a second one coming along.
Nice blocking there from Miguel. Very well played.
Block. Good job.
All right, so Miguel's had the farm and the wood upgrade for a bit longer. Not that much longer, though, because on this build, Capoch is able to get it pretty fast as well.
And Chinese farms, too, so they're going to last longer naturally.
Yeah, yeah. And this is normally where you'll start to see a couple Chukonu made. And I think the important thing for Miguel is to not allow Capoch to move out with that next castle in early Imperial Age, as we get a conversion there from Capoch.
Hesitation is your enemy, right? Miguel thought he could maybe get that, then he decided he couldn't, and that's just ensuring a conversion there for Capoch. And Capoch has 2 of them. Miguel, only 1 Castilier right now. He's getting the gold upgrade, the second gold upgrade. Interesting. I guess with Burgundians, you just go for everything.
Yeah, I mean, it is cheaper too, right? So, not necessarily an age earlier at that point. Monk did a little moonwalk there for Miguel, so the monk is happier than the rest of people in Miguel's town. And the monks are going to see each other, which should prompt both players to send units. And they're both heading out here for the relics. Yeah, you need to run away from that one.
Yeah. Not something you want to take, as Capoch hasn't reset. Okay, now he resets the monk. Miguel is kind of being pushed into the corner here. He might end up converting one of those, so Capoch needs to be a little bit careful. Capoch also going for handcart before Miguel gets it. And Capoch's eco right now, 71 villagers against 57. from Miguel. He's still really far ahead.
And also, Miguel just kind of gives up here on the relics, and he doesn't even try for the one on the left right now. He might be waiting for his monks to group up. But, you know, like, this is kind of standard play, right? Like, this is what you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is that whole conversation to be had on Chinese being strong. How do you counter them? I think there's only a few civs that can, but this is high-level Age of Empires. This is tourney Age of Empires. And I just feel like Capoch is doing everything that I would have predicted here. This Burgundian play, definitely a shocker for us.
Yep.
But the resources looking decent enough, maybe, for Miguel to consider clicking up to the Imperial Age 2. And we don't know exactly how Capoch is going to play it. If it goes super late, you could make an argument the Burgundians are better with the gold income from the farms.
Yep.
The button you can press and cheaper paladin, all that good stuff. So cheaper paladin upgrade anyways, I should say.
Also, Capoch is not starting to queue up Chukunu yet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So he's not going to have much of an army when he reaches Imperial Age. I looked on the draft. I just tabbed out, looked on the draft. Bengalis were not banned or picked here, even though Fortress was part of the pool. So
That is interesting.
Miguel obviously feeling very confident with Burgundians versus Bengalis, which I think are a pretty good option against Chinese.
Yeah, yeah. We have stables now for Miguel. Well, think about Miguel's style, though. He likes to play into a boom and knights.
Mm-hmm.
And Bengalis don't get knights. So I think a lot of that, you know, a lot of his draft is centered around that. He is getting Cavalier right now. He is getting armor. Remember when Running was trying to go Hussar before and his upgrades were late?
Capoch had to sell the barn to buy 300 stone because his balance was a little bit off on his build. So he's going for the castle in a great location, but he's not teching into pikemen or halb yet, which
There's
I
a
think would be
chance.
natural when you're fighting up against Burgundians, unless you think they're going to go gunpowder. It feels like you have to go into pikemen to supplement your Chukunu, right?
Yeah, it could be that he's thinking Chukunu opening into Halb is what you do, but he's a little late with the Chukunu, and so the timing is off. I mean, he did put a lot more focus on relics than Miguel did. And I think there's a time window with early Paladin for Miguel. If Capoch doesn't have the numbers yet, there's pikemen. Does Miguel know about that, too? I wanted to check. He does know about the castle spot, so he's probably... Miguel knows he's behind now, and so he's going to be waiting. And he's going to drop a castle over to the left there. Ooh, interesting. I feel like he could actually have that denied if Capoch uses those monks.
Yep.
Oh, no. Delete that, Miguel. Delete it. Delete it.
He doesn't see the castle yet. He's pulling away the castle. Delete the units!
Paladin's on the way, Dave. 3 minutes from Paladin. We only have, like, 10 army for Capoch. I mean, if you include the monks, that could obviously swing the numbers a little bit. Like 4 trebuchets with 30 paladins, and Capoch could get completely surprised. Like Capoch is probably going to build up a lot of his military buildings behind this castle too.
He sees the Cavalier with his converted Castilier, and he gets squires immediately, conscription immediately, and let's see more barracks, my friend. You need more barracks here, Capoch. Another castle forward isn't really going to help you against a gigantic flood of paladin.
He doesn't have that much wood income right now, Dave. Also, you know, with what I'm seeing right now on this left side with Capoch's castle, I think it's another target for Miguel's trebs. I'd like to see Capoch make like a couple gates here though, to give a little choke point for his Chukunu and his monks. That could be super helpful.
Capoch has gone for a second blacksmith, which I like, and he's getting halberdier right now. So his techs are going to be flying in here if he has the eco to support it.
I like this from Miguel. Miguel going to go raid. Of course, he lost his scout earlier, but I was assuming he was going for the stone. Capoch saw that. Now Capoch's trebs are going for Miguel's treb. Miguel doesn't have paladin yet.
As well. Yeah, he doesn't have that many. He built up how many stables? 6 stables, but he's not able to produce for all of them. Forced to spend gold on trebs just to protect himself.
He will have paladin.
You need like 30 paladin.
30 paladin, yep. They're not elite Chukunu. They are halbs, though, and Capoch is still building up the barracks. Miguel's only time is probably now, and he's going to go in here. If
Paladin from behind as well.
Let's see if Capoch gets the conversions, right? Because Capoch getting the conversions could help a lot here. Miguel's going to try and convert the paladins back. Miguel has a chance here if he takes out those trebs. Takes that
Saves
one.
his castle for now. Takes out one Treb, takes out a second Treb. He's going to take out a third Treb, but now the Halbs are here. And they have Chukanu behind. How many Paladin does Miguel have left over? He's only got 10 right now. He's forced fletching as well. Only 2 Paladin in the queue. It doesn't look like it's going to work, unfortunately.
Well, you just...
Another castle from Capoch on the right side on that secondary gold from Miguel. It's so smart.
Oh, and he's also using the unit he converted to check Miguel's gold. That's even smarter. Just epic heads-up play there from Capoch, who will know he needs to hold against this. And more Paladins would be on the way for Miguel, but now he's got to make a skirm switch. And this is giving Capoch, the player with the relics and the additional eco, just the time, right, to get his production rolling, which is really the only question mark for him. But Capoch has to be careful. He can't focus on the right too much because the push continues here for Miguel.
Yep.
There's still a lot of Paladin.
He doesn't have any Trebs alive still, so he can't really contest that castle forward. He's also going for houses because he needs houses, but Miguel's just going to kill them. Or he was thinking about it.
Halbs are going to the gold on the right, but Capoch could lose his castles. He could lose his barracks. He could lose his Chukanu in the middle. Obviously, you know, losing that gold hurts Miguel, though. So, you know, there's pros and cons to this situation. Miguel desperately needs this win. Not too desperate. It's the first week for both players. But feels like if you get 3-0'd, you're putting yourself under pressure for future weeks. God, the Chukanu are so good. Oh, God, and the Paladins are just... They can't decide on where to go.
Still, that castle is not being repaired. Villagers pulled from the gold. And Miguel's packing up. He's leaving. He's going home.
He lost a lot, man. He lost a lot of Sorry, you lost a lot of Paladins.
He's at 120 pop right now.
Yeah, it's just so,
that's not
so
good.
bad.
And he didn't pull the Trebs back in time. They're being surrounded. Oh, second Treb dying. He only managed to save one. He's Paladin looping around, looking for the villagers on the gold on the stone again. He's just going to have to hope that Capoch, like, accidentally ungarrisons his TC at this point, or his castle, and the king comes out to play.
I mean, engaging with skirms before their elite skirm, this is just... Miguel's under so much pressure here, and, you know, we kind of... No, I think we kind of felt this was going to be the case based on the civilizations and the build, but also I'm seeing some rust here. Like, we've seen Miguel have better days. And he's falling back now, and now, of course, he's like, oh, God, you know, what can I try? I'm going to try Bombard Cannon, so I'm getting chemistry. But, you know, now this game is snowballed on you. You can't take the gold on the right. Capoch has Treb down that TC.
5 Treb stack with Halbs and Chukanu in front.
You can't do it.
You can't do anything against that. Not with the current army that you have. He's getting chemistry now. Maybe with some bomber cannons mixed in, but you're still going to need decent amount of paladin, decent amount of skirms, and you just don't have that military, and Capoch continues to push. And he's getting all the technologies.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's getting every blacksmith technology. He's got more resources floating, and Capoch, game 1 wasn't as easy, but game 2, he made it look easy. He had a good strategy. He had a crazy economy, and then while it was potentially a little awkward for him there, losing a castle and early imp, he knew exactly what Miguel would go for, and he played into Chukanu Halb. Just didn't seem like a build order that Miguel had really tested before, or if he tested it, I think he incorrectly thought that would be strong.
I think he overrated the value of the early economy upgrades. I think he would have been better off just getting up to castle as soon as he can, adding the TCs, and then just using the cheaper upgrades.
Agreed.
Rather than early.
That's a strategy that I think works a lot better if there's no farms at the start. Like, if you don't start with 5 farms, I understand the need to go for the early farms with the eco upgrades, but that's not Regicide Fortress. And so, you know, Capoch picked the Civ that is seen all the time and didn't really need to be fancy. He played very strong, though. I mean, no question about it. 4 relics. He had a castle going up on the left side as well, so he would have had all the neutral golds locked down. But it's not a great strat there for Miguel. And again, I'll say it, like, Capoch, I think, was 3rd or 4th in the first season in his group. Miguel was 4th in his group. Oftentimes at the end of the whole season, we look at a certain series between certain players and say that made the difference. I don't think you can get 3-0'd here if you're Miguel. Like, there's better players in the group. You got to at least get 1 win, and then you can regroup, and you can be happy and say, okay, well, it wasn't my best start, but now, you know, I'm coming back from a break. I have this strategy planned, blah, 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 blah. So
I'm on 3.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Here we are, final game in this play all 3 Couple reminders on how this works. It's $40 per player, but then every win counts. So even if you win a series, the only way that like wins and losses of sets really matter is if the event of a tiebreak later on. So for Miguel, obviously it hasn't been a great series for him, but what he'll want more than anything is just to get one win on the board. A Capoch playing with a Civ that I think you and I think are maybe the best on Cross if you go for the build order Capoch is trying.
Yep.
But Japanese, they're definitely in the conversation. I think Japanese are almost right behind him, honestly. I think we're looking at number 1 and number 2 as far as Civs are here.
I think what makes Japanese so valuable on Cross isn't even like the early dock or the better fishing rate. It's just kind of the fact that your fishing ships take forever to die.
Yeah.
If your opponent goes for a forward dock to contest your pond, if they go fire galleys, that's like a minute. It takes a fire galley to finish off a Japanese fishing ship. That gives you time to contest, right? So that's really, really useful.
I think that, and I think it's the only Civ where you can have a really solid man-at-arm build and do everything else that you want to try and do on this map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a sneak dock as well.
Look at Capoch's scouting, though. I know Capoch, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he were to just wall between these wood lines later on. He's already thinking about it. You don't want someone to be on your pond on this map, and I feel like that's an invitation to wall. But if you try and do that, and you're focused on all the fish, and then the man-at-arms show up, you can get punished, and his berries are very far forward. His gold is on a hill there. But Capoch has always been known as the scouts kind of run into each other there in the middle. He's always been known as being good on this map for as long as he's come back from the scene. To the scene. Not from the scene.
I think hybrid maps are really, especially a map like Cross, is about experience and game sense, right? Which Capoch has a lot of. And all those tricky little maneuvers that you were talking about with like Viper sending a villager in behind, Capoch does that all the time.
Check this out. Miguel, he's going to scout the dock. So this is a big talking point. Scouting that dock early tells me Miguel's thinking about sneaking a vill later. Somebody asking, as is often the case, what the difference is between Cross and Four Lakes. So there are differences. Four Lakes tends to have a little bit more food in the ponds. And then the way neutral golds work is a bit different here. But it used to be a bigger difference. Basically, the devs were like, we don't want to call it Cross because it's confusing for people.
It's too religious
and
oriented.
And also, I think they were like concerned about.
I think that's it. I know Microsoft did. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think they were concerned that like the people in the community would be like, "You just stole our idea." So
I think it was the religious element.
Oh, the religious side.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Interesting. All right. Well, neither would surprise me with Microsoft. Like Microsoft doesn't want to be seen as stealing people's ideas either. So. There's other examples of it too, like African Clearing was inspiration off of Bedouins. But there's just been good maps and they wanted it in the base game and not just like, tournament map scripts, but nothing we really need to dive into much in terms of the differences between the Cross and Four Lakes. Good scouting from Miguel here. He's seen pretty much everything. Will he send a villager? Will Capoch wall that area? I'm not seeing a lot of wood income here for Miguel.
I think if you send a vill, you go the other way. You don't go that way.
Did I miss something, by the way? What? Is Capoch just really good with his build that he's about to be on 5 fishing ships before we have the 3rd for Miguel? Or
he's Lithuanians, dude.
Well,
They're
I know.
Gonna be ahead.
I know he's Lithuanians, but I thought he would only be ahead by 2 fishing ships. But I could just be wrong on that.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's a little bit further ahead than normal. Maybe Miguel was just a little bit late for the dock because I didn't notice anything weird from Capoch or anything super optimal.
But like the 4th
Miguel
fishing ship isn't on the way, so I think Miguel maybe is just a little bit off.
Capoch is sending the villager right now. He does have loot.
Man. Dude, this is so devastating. I mean, you are Japanese, but Capoch committing to this so early is so Capoch, but it's at a timing that only the Lithuanians can pull off. No barracks for Miguel yet. I think he's going to build that, though. And there he is, so he will have that.
I was saying, like, I hope those vills aren't going out for that gold way out there. That would be kind of a throw because he got the gold at the back. But he goes for the barracks on the hill. Unfortunately, he's not going to see the vill from Capoch over to the left side. A lot of people send the fishing ship to go fish over there.
Yep.
Just so you get a heads up early, even if it's inefficient. But he's not going to do that. Capoch, can he squeeze in a dock at the very edge? He has to cut down the reed
He has to cut
first.
the tree.
That's funny.
He's just waiting for the wood here. And, yep, there he goes. Dude, this is so Capoch. A little bit of greed by adding fish at home, double checking to make sure his opponent hasn't docked him, and then just docking the opponent. It's so good, and it seems so simple, right?
There's the fishing ship from Miguel. There we go. He sees it.
All right, next up for Capoch is, will his opponent have man-at-arms? Check this guy out, dude. He's looking at the front. He's trying to see if there's going to be man-at-arms. He's also going to try and wall that back area.
See it on the... Oh! He missed it.
He missed it. And here come bills from Miguel.
And there's 2 bills forward, and Capoch is going to miss this too?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God, dude. Miguel's in. Shh.
Yeah,
He's in.
Miguel, don't... He doesn't know how...
No. Okay, well, now he sees it.
Well, I'm not sure I like fighting with the Vills because you give Capoch time to make a galley in his own pond. And that's immediately what Capoch does. But there is still a villager heading to dock there. No defense for Miguel so far on his pond. So that's something to keep in mind. This got really messy really quick.
Oh, you can block the Vill now with the scout? Nope. Decides not to. There's a tower behind from Miguel. He's going to make things really messy. Capoch has another wood line he can go to. And I think the natural thing to do here for Capoch is to go and try and dock that pond in the left shortly. Not right now because you don't have the wood.
Yeah.
But at some point, try and expand there. Miguel is already there with a villager, though. Miguel has a villager on the right pond, too.
Whoa.
Wow. Miguel is spreading out here, man.
Miguel's he's got to finish this dock, though. If he gets this dock down, that's so good for him.
He will. He will. And he's going to have the tower, too.
This is crazy pressure. All right, now Miguel's going to try and defend his fish. Capoch is being patient there. Apologies, everyone, for all the dings as we click all these docks and ships. Where did the man-at-arms go? Oh, they're on the left side now. Okay, so the left side of Capoch's base, which is walled. No barracks yet for Capoch.
Yeah, but, like, if you go under that TC, there's not really much there to shoot you. And also, these are just palisade walls.
Yeah.
You can just start working away at those and force out repairs, and that means less wood for Capoch.
I like
More
how there's this
distractions
villager
as
from
well.
Capoch that is walled behind here, and he never got picked off, and now he's re-walling. Oh, I love that. So
Miguel's just like, I'll go for the gold.
Yeah, that's fine. It's cheap, right?
Yeah. Miguel should just be attacking walls with these men-at-arms. I don't know why he's running around. Just attack walls. You force out more houses, more repairs or whatever from Capoch, and you might get in. And then when Capoch is distracted, you can kill some Vills. Still, this is pretty nice here from Miguel as he collected fish with the villager on the left, and he went all the way back to the TC. So now it's the walk of shame all the way back to the pond again on the left side.
It's hard to have the wood for everything, right? Like, docks in 4 corners is really difficult, especially when you need to defend your own fish. Now, Capoch didn't see the dock for Miguel. He looked on the right side. He just missed it, so he'll probably think he's fishing uncontested there.
This is really good value, honestly, from these men-at-arms. You have 2 villagers over here doing nothing but repairing.
Fishing ships go down for Miguel. Remember, Capoch hasn't lost any fishing ships yet in the south, but will he now? Here comes Miguel. The demo's so important here. Oh, it was perfectly timed for Miguel.
Well done.
Wow, disaster for Capoch. I mean, and he kept that fire galley in there for a second.
Oh, he's trying to repair, and he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
Wow.
2 villagers sitting there, and they don't get the repairs. Miguel now has a dock on the left side. Capoch has a dock on the right side. Miguel should probably go for a fire or something, but he's booming up with his fish. And this has gotten so messy, Tristan. Like, there is flashing things on the minimap all over the place.
I love it.
We know that Capoch loves these type of games, though, and Capoch is going to find the dock for Miguel on the left, too.
I want to check food as the fishing ships in the south are going down. Food collected. So I think I missed something there, but about 500 more food collected.
500 more?
500 more.
Stat?
Or not food,
No?
sorry. I looked at all resources.
Resources, yeah.
Food is pretty close. The big thing I'm realizing is Capoch is flirting with the idea of clicking up, but right at the worst possible time for a guy that doesn't have berries, he's going to lose all of his fish. And also, villagers fighting on the right side. Who wins? With how Miguel's day's been going, I bet you Capoch wins this.
It's the people's champ. It's Miguel. It's the people's champ.
Oh.
The
No.
the people's chump.
The people's
Over there.
chump, yeah.
Uh,
Hey, shout out to those man-at-arms, though, by the way, for all that pressure, but it didn't break in. Miguel's going to need some land army, Dave. He doesn't have an archer range. And I think he knows he's so far behind the range production from his opponent, so he's just going to go for towers, which is not a bad move in a pinch. I think it's underrated. On a map like this, where you want to invest all your wood and gold into the pawns, I think it's good.
yeah.
But we'll see. The man-at-arms, they're going to catch the archers in
They'll
the
track
skirmisher.
the archers. Yeah, they might be able to even kill one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Value. Holy.
Yeah, that's so important. That gives him time,
That's
too.
sick. Yeah. Castle Age on the way here from Capoch, but look at Miguel's resources. If he had a market right now, oh baby, he could be up.
Oh, baby, he says. Well, you know, the big worry that we often talk about in this matchup is if Lithuanians are even with the Japanese at this stage, they've got the faster skirmishers, they got the monks, they got the knights. Japanese, they usually need to get a slight lead and make use of their early bonuses. And tower defense won't help against knights. By the way, Capoch will retake his pond in the south. Impressive job there.
Miguel manages to hold the pawn in the right though, and he's blocking with a fishing ship. He's not letting him. You shall not pass.
Very well played there. Might even
Great
be able to
stuff.
snipe that villager as well if he realizes that it's weak. But Capoch is going to go 2 docks there as well. They've really liked that decision. He's not going to give the Japanese the pawn there, even though he loses his fish. And it's just tower
Notice
defense
the
for
Vil,
Miguel.
Notice
Who?
the Vil. Notice 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 the.
Which
Didn't
Vil?
notice the Vil. Vil on the right building the dock. That was 1 HP. Didn't notice it.
Well, they should be able to get the Vil as long as it auto attacks. There he goes. Okay. I thought you were talking about the Vil making the outpost next to the market.
No, I don't
Capoch-
care about that Vil.
Okay, well, Capoch sees the gold now, and he's just going to make another outpost. This is so funny.
Capoch also docking the left side, so once War Galley comes in, could be a concern for Miguel, and Capoch is just going to retake all of these pawns, it feels like.
It's wild to me how, like, Miguel, it almost feels similar to game 1. Has a better eco KD. It's an even KD, and yet Capoch makes it to Castle Age faster. And remember game 1, it was like one knight comes out, and then Capoch retook water, and then boomed. Might see
I
a
think you
similar
need that-
thing.
I think you need the market faster if you're Miguel. If you had the market like a minute faster, 2 minutes faster, you're up at the same time to Castle Age. Balance your eco a lot better in a crazy game like this.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
manages to kill the archers without losing a single villager, so that's
Uh-oh,
nice.
right side
He's
could be
going
a
for
problem.
double stable, but the knights are coming in. There's nothing under the TC to shoot that knight, and right side, he's going to lose that pawn as well. Both stables getting denied from Miguel. Oh, Jesus. And he just calls GG.
He just taps out. I think he realized the direction this was going. Capoch would have had the north control with fish. Capoch was going to hop out any moment and take the left. He's had the War Galley upgrade for a bit. And he also had the right side. And he's faster than knights. And he's going to snag the relics. He might have actually converted that scout. When that game ended, that monk was on the way to converting that scout. And it didn't look like Miguel was reacting. So Capoch with a crazy 3-0. I mean, again, such an important 3-0. And for me, it was just consistency. Like, consistency and the draft. You can tell Capoch has been more active. And when Capoch plays tourneys, man, you can put him under pressure, but he is such a fighter. He does not crumble under that pressure.
There was a moment there where he was still contesting the upper pawn. He lost his main pawn. Miguel had a dock on the left pawn and the right pawn. There was attacks going on all over the place. And I
Crazy.
was thinking to myself, like, I was looking at the minimap, all the flashes, and I was thinking, okay, Capoch is now in his comfort zone.
Yep.
Where, like, things are just wild, right? And that's where he thrives.
Well, the thing that I think is the most worrying thing for Miguel is you didn't have a good civilization for your home map. Like, that's just bad. Any way you slice it, you'd have to have a good civilization for your home map. Then you lose 2-1 instead of 3-0, and it's a different situation. So Miguel's going to have to pick it up. I'm going to pull up the groups here and just remind everybody who's in which group. But Group C has Hera, Jordan, Ganji, and Kingston apart from these two players. So you look at like maybe Kingston and Ganji as the two players who got promoted. Like, yeah, Miguel could be favored in those sets. But those are two very good players. Ganji was already able to take a win off of Jordan, for example. And even just beating those players might not be enough because everyone else could be favored against those players too. So Miguel's going to have to step it up moving forward. At least if they play on schedule, Miguel will be playing Kingston next and then Ganji after. So could be an interesting conclusion for him.
He'll need to win both of those.
Yeah, wins those sets, and then he has to get like a certain number of wins versus Hera and Jordan or something.
Yeah, I think Miguel versus Kingston is fairly even. That's one where I actually favor Miguel if he drags it further on in the game, which I didn't against Capoch here.
Yeah.
Kingston, I feel like, has really good openings, but maybe struggles to finish it off a little bit. Ganji is always just a giant question mark for me because we really don't know.
We haven't seen
what
enough
we're going to see with that.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing I appreciate about Ganji a lot is that he plays towards win conditions, and he has like a community game style of play, where he sees the opportunities. Like I saw him the other day trying to go for king snipes, or not going full committing to it, but trying to take advantage of a window where he could maybe king snipe.
Yeah,
things like that, right? Playing map control, playing with that big paladin push back against Jordan, which was insane.
Deleting 20 pops so he wins the final fight.
Yeah.
Like things like that is just something other players don't do.
Walling in trebs on a regular basis.
Yep.
Things like that for Ganji. So really tough, really fun to watch. As far as Capoch goes, he's going to still need some big results. Ganji is a threat, as we were talking about. Hera, that's tough. Jordan's always tough. And Kingston, of course, is another question mark. What are we going to see out of him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kingston, I came in with high hopes because of how good he was in the first season in gold. He didn't look good against Hera. But then again, it's like, was he low confidence?
Good against Hera, though?
Yeah, well,
good against Hera.
Okay, true. But the Vietnamese thing, the farms before horse collar, the couple of decisions were off too. So I think he's naturally going to improve. We have seen a lot of that where the first week some players are looking like they're underperforming a little bit. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Obviously, you've got all these groups here we're looking at. There'll be lots more action. Things start to really get exciting with the group stage after the third week, because after that third week, alarm bells are going off in certain players' minds, and they're just like, oh God, I need to get results. Whereas now, it does add up, but it doesn't feel quite as important.